Yo, shout out to my homeboys, man. When you have conversations about sports like off camera, you just come into some of the craziest conversations, right? Yesterday, I'm talking to my brother K Doze, and he's telling me how concerned he is that Russell Westbrook is now with the Clippers from the Lakers. And I'm like, what you mean concerned? And I asked him to kind of break down some of his reasons of feeling like Russell Westbrook is going to be a threat now with the Clippers, bro. And what Kay was saying to me on that telephone last night was just blowing my mind. I wanted to go live last night and kind of chop it up with the people. I just didn't get a chance to. So I said, man, let me go ahead and just debunk this lie that Kay is just dealing with and try to ease the pain that he has when we talking about Russell Westbrook now running with the Los Angeles Clippers, man. Salute to the NBA community. Welcome back, y'all, to the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Y'all know who I be. If not, man, I'm Seven Mitchell, man, your host as always. Salute again to the NBA community. Wanted to chop it up, man, today. I may not hold you guys for a long time. I may hold you guys for a long time. Who knows? I'll go ahead and make sure that I drop the link in the chat in case you guys want to come up, have any questions, comments, and opinions on tonight's topic. But I want to start off today with this guy, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. So, like I said, man, K Doze called me last night and he was like, yo, I'm concerned about Russell Westbrook. And I'm like, what you mean you concerned about Russell Westbrook? He like, yo, he with the Clippers now, yo. That could be a big problem for the Lakers with this whole 23 games left. Like Russell Westbrook could be a some type of deciding factor on the Lakers' success and progression. So I'm like, hey, yo, you got to explain to me what you're talking about. And he started to just get into so many different things that just didn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, hey, are you crazy? Are you crazy? I'm all good with storylines and narratives and stuff like that, yo. But Russell Westbrook and the Clippers, we read this story before. Y'all forgot? This is not nothing new, man. This is why I'm not really concerned with this whole thing about Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers. Two things I really want to explain and kind of break down that I don't have a fear of as a Lakers fan. And that's basketball IQ and just history. History repeats itself with Russell Westbrook going into with the Clippers. Now, what do I mean by number one when we talk about basketball IQ? Generally, when you have a guy who has played on the team for a substantial amount of time, then he goes to an arch rival, you do have to have a concern because you might wonder what type of plays, what type of things and cheat codes that he will be taking over into another locker room. So by default, I understand that. What we are forgetting is that Russell Westbrook is a mistake maker. I'm not trying to be disrespectful because respectfully, Russell is playing well this year. He was my sixth man of the year. That's probably going to go out the window because the Clippers are going to offer him a starting job, but we're going to get into that in a second. But when I look at the amount of turnovers that Russell Westbrook creates on a humble, his basketball IQ to me is not high enough to go over to the Clippers with some type of info or intel and be a major threat or any issue to the Lakers. That's number one. I'm not saying he's a stupid basketball player, but I just don't think that Russell Westbrook's basketball IQ, the mental, is on that level where as though he could go take some tips over to Ty Lue and them guys and they could do something with LeBron in a healthy AD and just a healthy Lakers roster, period. I just don't see Russell Westbrook being that guy. So when Kay was explaining to me that he was concerned because of what he may have known playing for the Lakers, I'm like, what? He turned the ball over entirely too many times in LA. Like, I don't think if he was so smart playing in the purple and gold, he would still be in that uniform. He's out of Los Angeles for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? And I just feel like at the end of the day, when we talk about turnovers, just mistakes, Russell is not no threat to the Lakers just because he on the Clippers. Salute to my dog Anthony in the building. Ant, I see you, my guy. Big up to you, G. What you feel, Anthony, about Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers? Do you feel like that's a threat to LeBron or the Lakers? Because I talked to K Doze last night on the phone. He was telling me that he feel like Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers is a major concern if you are a Lakers fan. And I'm just like, no way. First of all, his basketball IQ is just not good enough. It's not high enough. And then the Clippers are making the huge mistake of offering this guy a starting role again. And I think that's another big mistake. Russell Westbrook, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be a starter. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that. But based off of the play that we saw last year, based off of him accepting the role under a first-year head coach in Darwin Ham, he came off was getting players involved. Like I said, he looked like the sixth man of the year candidate. Allowing Russell Westbrook now to start with the Clippers is just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Now opening up the floodgates for Russell Westbrook to get back into those same turnover mistake-making ways with him starting. The more minutes you give this guy, the more he's going to turn the ball over. Again, Russell Westbrook's basketball IQ does not match his athleticism. It does not match the physicality that he brings to the table. So unfortunately, when you're trying to win a championship, you got to play just as smart as hard. Russell ain't it. I'm not saying that Russell can't be a contributing factor to a championship team, but with this Clippers team, there is no concern to me. And that's because of partially number two, history. History basically repeats itself. We read this book before when it comes to Russell Westbrook and Paul George. I'm not going to say this was the biggest disappointment in NBA history or nothing like that, but the way OKC had went out when Dame hit that long three-point shot at the buzzer and waved them bye-bye, like that was a very disappointing experience in OKC with Paul George and Russell Westbrook, and they had Carmelo Anthony. Not to say that they had expectations to win championships, but both seasons that Paul George was with the Thunder, the expectations were not met. And then Paul George left Russell Westbrook for Kawhi Leonard, left Russell Westbrook high and dry in OKC for Kawhi Leonard. So it's interesting to see how these three guys are going to actually try to make this thing happen. And then you got Kawhi Leonard, Mr. Low Management. Like, who cares about potential and what's on paper when this guy doesn't even actually give you a consistent look of basketball? So I just don't. I just was tripping last night talking to K Doze. He was like, man, Russell probably learned some things in that Lakers locker room. He gonna take it over there to Ty Lue, and the Clippers is just gonna be the best, team in that latest and the third. And I'm like, bro, don't go off of records. Please don't make that mistake, because year after year, you're going to find a situation where as though the Clippers are going to wind up having a better win-loss record in the regular season than the Lakers. But it's all about what happens in April and May and June. That's what counts the most. And when we see LeBron in April, in May, we usually always see him in June. Win or lose the finals, we always see him there. So, it's just going to be a journey for the Lakers in these next 22 games to get into the play-in, or maybe, solidify a 6th seed. They got the win last night with Golden State. But Russell basketball IQ is not there enough for me to feel like he's a big old threat to the Lakers' success. I'm not jacking that. I've watched Russell Westbrook and Paul George before. I've read that book before. I witnessed the disloyalty Paul George had just leaving Russell Westbrook for Kawhi. And in hindsight, what was all that for? Because the Clippers didn't win anything yet. I think this move actually is going to expose Tyronn Lue. Everybody praised Ty Lue as this good coach. I'm not going to say he's a bad coach, but we know what happened and when, who was really the quarterback of that team in 2016 when he won his championship. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to hold you with that. LeBron was the real coach. But, I'm not going to make it seem like Ty is awful. But hearing my brother on that telephone last night talking about he have concerns because now Russell is across the hall. I'm like, wow, you shouldn't be worried about this thing at all. Scrub Zero said he don't know if Russ is going to make a difference in affecting the Lakers because the Lakers are already bums. Good old Scrub Zero, the big LeBron hater, is in the building. Salute to my guy Scrub Zero. Lander the Heartless is in the building. Salute to you, my G. Clippers ain't making no noise. Yeah, man. I mean, they'll make the playoffs if they are healthy. I think it'll be exciting to watch. You know, Russell, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. It'll be a fast-paced type of game. I think that'll be good. Ty Lue used to play the guard, so it'll look good. It'll look decent. You know, they may give teams like Dallas some problems in the playoffs. You know, Luka and Kyrie. That'll be interesting. But at the end of the day, Russell Westbrook is a mistake maker. Darwin Ham was able to put some cosmetics over that, bringing him off the bench, allowing him to, play this new role. He accepted this new role. Not only was he offensively productive, he was also getting people involved. Now you're going to give Russell Westbrook the keys to drive again so soon? Nah, I don't like that move at all for Russell Westbrook because he's going to get right back to the same old, same old. And that's going to cause the Clippers to have problems. That's definitely going to cause. I've watched Kawhi Leonard in the past, I believe in Toronto, San Antonio, maybe not so much, but I've watched Paul George in the past bump heads with his teammates because the wrong decision was made in the fourth quarter or in the final minutes. I've seen Kawhi Leonard kind of like throws his teammates under the bus in real heated moments. So you can really count on that happening, with this trio. When it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, all those things are definitely up for debate. But you look at the Lakers got better since they got rid of Russell Westbrook. In my eyes, the Clippers have gotten better too. You know what I'm saying? There was a void at the point guard, but this guy to me just is not that type of threat that I should feel like, okay, wow, the city of LA, it now belongs to the Clippers. Russell Westbrook is so smart of a basketball player that he's just going to take all this intel across the hall to the Clippers locker room, and they are going to help the demise of LeBron and the Lakers. Like I watched Patrick Beverly say that he focused on knocking LeBron and the Lakers out of the play-in tournament. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? And I've learned to like Patrick Beverly. But you are playing for a team in Chicago who now is on the outside looking in themselves. If I'm not mistaken, Chicago was in the 11th or the 13th seed in the Eastern Conference. So they're not even in the play-in tournament if the season ended today. He's worried about LeBron James and the Lakers. These guys are in two different conferences. So they only going to play each other, maybe one time for the rest of the season? So, Patrick Beverly, I feel like his focus was completely wrong. I understand that he don't rock with LA for whatever reason, and I'm not mad, that he takes this stance. But I'm like, bro, why is you putting that out there in the public when the team that you on is struggling to get into this tournament? They sitting Lonzo Ball down for the remainder of the season because he got an unknown knee injury. So I was kind of tripping when I heard about Patrick Beverly being focused on eliminating LeBron and the Lakers. I wasn't really jacking that. I'm like, bro, your focus is definitely in the wrong place. And I respect that, Anthony. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where Pat Bev is playing, whether it's Houston, Minnesota, LA, what we have here in Chicago. He gonna talk his shit. I ain't mad at it. And he understands that every game is pivotal for the Lakers. So the Lakers can't afford to lose a bunch of games in these last 20-something games. And if they play Chicago and if Chicago get a win, it could definitely hold impact. So I believe two things can be true. Patrick Beverly, somewhat in effect with the team, could actually play a role in the Lakers making it or breaking it. I seriously doubt it. But more importantly, your team ain't even in it. So I think that's where his focus should be at. But no, man, we ain't jacking Russell Westbrook being the big problem because he now with the Clippers. His basketball IQ is not good enough. And again, history repeats itself. We watched the way Paul George and Russell Westbrook, we watched that before. We watched the disloyalty of Paul George leaving Russell for Kawhi. We've watched Kawhi be unavailable for Paul George for 3 years now. Now you're going to try to bring all three of these guys together and think that's going to really do something. I don't know. It was a needed move, though. I will say that because now you got Kevin Durant in Phoenix. D'Angelo Russell, I see he went down yesterday with an injury, but you got him with the Lakers. So you got a lot of teams in the Western Conference trying to develop that big three type of look, if you want to say. I know Luka and Kyrie, they waiting for Christian Woods to, step it up a little bit consistently. So we're going to see how that play out. Golden State is struggling, though. I don't know what to say about the Warriors. I don't really know what to say about the Warriors. Here go my brother right here, Kay. This is my dog right here. This is who I was just telling you guys about. I was telling them, Kay, that we was talking about Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers and the concerns you said that you had on the telephone last night when we were talking about it. And I just was telling them, man, like, yo, you were bugging out. You were really bugging out. His basketball IQ he's just a mistake maker. He's not going to be able to go and tell Ty Lue and Kawhi some things that they don't know about LeBron James. None of those guys can beat LeBron James in a game of chess when it comes to basketball. So no, I'm not threatened at all. The move probably does help the Clippers, maybe not. This could be even worse for the Clippers. People think that this is going to automatically make the Clippers better. It might not. You don't really have nothing. The only thing that you got consistent when it comes to the Clippers is that Russell is turnover prone. Paul George is not consistent when we talk about productivity. Kawhi Leonard is not consistent when we talk about availability. Ty Lue is not consistent when we talking about. He's pretty iffy when it comes to winning. You know what I mean? I'm not going to play Ty Lue like that. But nah, have no fear if you are a Lakers fan, just because Russell Westbrook is in the other locker room. It's not a big deal at all. The Lakers are not going to make the playoffs. Okay, here we go. So why are the Lakers not going to make the playoffs? Because right now, the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken, is only 2.5 games out of the play-in. We got 22 games left. 22 games left. And they only 2.5 games out of the play-in. Mathematically, the Lakers still could get the 6th seed and not even have to deal with the play-in tournament at all. So do me a huge favor, K-Doz, and explain to me why the Lakers are not going to be winning the championship. I'll go ahead and drop the link as well if anybody want to come up and give me your opinion on Russell Westbrook joining the Clippers. Do y'all feel like this is a concern for the Lakers, or do you feel like this is a concern for the NBA at all? Did the Clippers put the Western Conference on notice because they picked up Russell Westbrook? Make sure you guys, man, if you enjoy daily NBA content, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel. Become a member today and join the Best of 7 Sports Talk membership here on YouTube. Also, you can catch me on social media. As you can see, man, make sure you follow me. I'll follow you guys back 24/7, 365, man. Love talking about this thing that we love called basketball, man. So again, salute to all the supporters. Big up to the network supporters. And y'all already know how we rock it, man. Talking about Russell Westbrook going to the Clippers, how much of an impact and how much of a concern should you have with him being with the LA Clippers? Lakers winning the championship? Nah. I'm not going to go that far. Of course, that's my prediction. We got LeBron James. Anytime you got LeBron James, you got to be thinking championship. I don't know what you're talking about, Scrub Zero. Here you go again. You understand me? I ain't gonna sit up there and let you get real crazy. But at the end of the day, it's a process. It is definitely a process. Next topic I wanted to talk about real quick before I get up out of here. I had two for y'all. This guy right here, Jason Tatum. I wanted to talk about Jason Tatum. Now, Jason Tatum, he was the All-Star MVP. He got the double nickel. I'm sorry. I still feel like it's still a question if Jason Tatum is the best player on his team. I know he's clear cut an MVP candidate this season. So right now in the regular season, a lot of people will say 7, you are bugging. There is no debate. Jason Tatum is the best Boston Celtics. What are you talking about? If you have been following basketball like me, you would respect the fact that when the game slows down in April, when we get into the playoffs, it becomes more of a half court game, your true colors really come out. You understand what I'm saying? And Jason Tatum, for the most part, consistently has done his thing in the regular season. There's no doubt about that. Jason Tatum is a superstar, one of the best in the game, especially in the regular season. And I hate to be a prisoner of the moment, but look how short Jason Tatum came up last season in the NBA Finals versus Golden State. Look how poorly Jason Tatum played when it counted the most. And not only that, look how much of a level up his partner in crime, Jaylen Brown, was in keeping that whole thing close. You could argue, even though Boston lost in the finals, Boston might not even been in a position to be where they were to lose if it wasn't for Jaylen's play in the postseason. To me, Jaylen Brown last year showed better game on both ends of the court, and he showed to be the true leader. When Jason Tatum wasn't hitting the basket, he was just like forcing it. He wasn't finding other ways to make his play better, other teammates better at the time. And Boston really struggled with that. And I felt like Jaylen Brown really showed that he was the number one guy. He was the true leader. He may not be skill set better than Jason Tatum, but I felt like when you look at both ends of the court and you look at, Jaylen Brown is part of the NBA PAs committee, so very intelligent, vocal. I felt like he was coming into his own of being the real true leader of the Boston Celtics. Plus, there was conversations about them trying to trade Jaylen Brown. Y'all remember last year at the beginning of this, there was conversation about them trying to trade Jaylen Brown. So coming into this season, you had the whole Ime Udoka scandal. People would have thought Boston stood no chance of being successful, but we are now here in February, and Boston has the best record, and it doesn't seem to be capped. They really, truly do seem to be the best team in basketball. And Jason Tatum, right now, he is definitely an MVP candidate, playing some of the best basketball we have ever seen. But none of that really impresses me, and I'm not jacking that, bro, because certain guys, I don't start to measure. Once I understand and identify who you are, I won't measure you until May, into April. I won't even respectfully, I won't care what you do in the regular season. Once that time start ticking in April and May and then hopefully June, depending on how good your team is, that's when it counts to me the most. That's why I don't have that much respect for Nikola Jokic. You got a guy who is about to be a 3-time consecutive MVP of this league and makes no impact in the playoffs. Now, I understand the MVP is a regular season award. I get that. But what does that say when you have someone who wins this award 3 years consecutively You pretty much representing the brand as the most valuable of the league. But when we get into the games that count the most, you're just like, not effective at all. And I know last year, partially due, he didn't have a lot of help with Jamal Murray being, hurt and things of that nature. But it's just crazy to me. Even the 2 years when Giannis won his MVPs back to back, Giannis was pathetic in the playoffs when he won those MVPs. It wasn't until Nikola had won his first, that's when Giannis won his first championship. But when Giannis won the back-to-back MVPs, he went right in the playoffs and stunk it up. Nikola Jokic, he's won 2 in a row, possibly, about to make it 3. I just feel like the game of basketball is completely different once we get into April and May. Once we get into the playoffs, once we get into that half court more, you know what I'm saying, lockdown, you get to really study this team. It's a best of 7 series, no pun intended. So a guy like Jason Tatum, James Harden, some of these guys, I respect what they do in the regular season, but I ain't jumping up and down and praising them until we get into the playoffs. Jason Tatum got to prove to me that he got a little bit of this in April and May. Because I remember the early days of Boston when, LeBron was still in Cleveland. Boston, them dudes had the best records and all that, and they came up short against LeBron in Cleveland and them. You know what I mean? So Jason Tatum does his thing in the regular season amongst other stars. I respect that, but I also identify that this dude, when it counts the most for the team, I ain't really seen it, bro. So I'm not really sitting there jacking that Jason Tatum is all of a sudden the end all be all just because he's having so much of great production right now in the regular season. I need to see it when it count the most. You getting 55 points in the All-Star game. Like, I'm not giving you no praise for that, with all due respect. This All-Star game was horrible. This All-Star game was basically like a layup line. So it wasn't something difficult or super crazy for, you to be able to get some big numbers in the All-Star game. It never fails. You know what I'm saying? But he had a big night. I don't really want to take nothing away from him. I'm not trying to sound like a Jason Tatum hater, but I just witnessed how short he came up last year. And it ain't about him winning. Like, we talking about the Golden State Warriors, even though they are a different ball club, that is a dynasty team you kind of dealing with as far as the organization last year. You understand what I'm saying? And they were worthy of winning their 4th title. So even if Boston still would have lost last year in the finals to Golden State, I would have still had the same level of respect of Jason if he didn't shrink so much. You know what I mean? He just did not play well on either end of the court in that series, bro. And it just kind of left Jaylen Brown, out to dry. And Jaylen did play well. Jaylen did play well. And if I felt like if Boston had a choice earlier in the year of one of those 2 guys to keep, one of those 2 guys to trade, they probably would have got rid of Jaylen Brown. But he wound up, to me, being the best player last season. So I respect what Jason Tatum is doing right now. He's playing on the best team in the league. But I'm really not honestly impressed, guys, with Tatum until we get into the playoffs. Outside of that, that's all that matters to me at the end of the day, bro. About to get up out of here, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. Again, just another reminder, become a member today of the Best of 7 Sports Talk. Follow me on social media, man. I appreciate everybody that came and locked in with me this afternoon. I'll be back live tonight. So if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Ty from Ty TV is going to be joining me later on tonight. We're going to chop it up, talk a little bit more about the Lakers coming off of their win last night versus Golden State. How realistic is it for LeBron and the Lakers to actually get a playoff spot versus a play-in spot, or make it at all? Some people feel like they still don't stand a chance, even with the W that they got last night. So Ty TV and myself is going to tap in later on this evening. I don't know exactly what time. So you guys make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I will definitely be in the mix of what you guys got going on, and we'll tap in later on tonight for sure. That's a fact. The biggest moments, Jason Tatum has come up short. He really has. And we watch other guys do that. James Harden especially. James Harden is one of the biggest guys. Does all this great stuff in the regular season, all this unbelievable, unstoppable scoring. And then soon as we get in April, soon as we get in May, guys don't even look the same. Like, I understand everybody level of play steps up because this is the playoffs. So you're not necessarily going to see a greater increase of your play. You may even go down a little bit. But when your superstars just be like disappearing, everybody want to talk about LeBron James and what happened in 2011 in them fourth quarters versus Dallas when he was with Miami. We seeing this shit every year with a star not showing up. So it is what it is, gang. All right, but I'm up out of here, man. Salute to you guys. I'll catch you all tonight here on the Best of Seven Sports Talk. Myself and Ty will be at you guys. So catch you all tonight on the channel. Y'all stay safe until then. And I'm out, fellas. Peace.